Good morning students. I welcome you all to your physics class, and for 10th standard we already started the chapter simple machines, which happens to be the third chapter, and we have already covered two parts of this lesson, and today we will be learning the third part in simple machines, that's a pulley. So I hope you remember what we studied in the first and the second part. We studied what are simple machines, we studied examples of simple machines, we studied about different types of simple machines, and also we learned about the technical terms related to a simple machine. And the second part, we dealt with a kind of simple machine called levers, and we learned about how to find mechanical advantage and velocity ratio of a lever. And we also learned about the three types of levers. Today we are going to learn about another kind of simple machine, and it is a pulley. Pulley is a word which we are all familiar with. You have seen a pulley from childhood, and also you have learned about pulleys in smaller class. And here from the picture which is on the screen, you can understand what a pulley is. A pulley is a simple machine, and look at the picture, and what do you see? What's the shape of a pulley? A pulley is circular in shape. I'll draw it over here. A pulley is circular in shape, and a pulley has a groove around its rim. There is a small groove around its rim, and there is an axis around which this circular disc rotates. The circular disc of the pulley rotates around an axis, and this axis can be connected to a frame. This axis can be connected to a frame. And usually this pulley will be connected to a rigid support. It is connected to a rigid support. Rigid means strong, support. And don't forget to draw a support when you are drawing a pulley. So it's easy to define this pulley. So what we already said about the pulley, its nature, and what we see is the definition of pulley. So what is a pulley? A pulley is a circular metallic or wooden disc which has a groove around its rim and which is able to rotate around an axis. We make use of a pulley by having a rope run around the pulley along its groove. We make use of a pulley by making a rope or a string run around the groove along its rim. On one end of the pulley, we can attach a load, and on the other end, we can apply effort. We apply effort on one end, and on the other end, there is load. The load acts in the downward direction. Here effort also acts in the downward direction. Effort also acts in the downward direction. So when you hang a load and an effort is supporting it, consider that nothing is moving, we are just balancing the load with the effort. Then the string exerts a force on the load, and that force is called tension force. When you hang something or pull a string, there is a force in the string which is called tension force, which acts away from that force. This load is acting downwards, this tension is acting in the upward direction near to the load. So when we pull this rope downwards, again there is another tension which is acting in the upward direction. A pulley can be used in two different ways. A pulley can be used in two different ways. Either a pulley can be used as a single pulley or as a combination of pulleys. A pulley can be used as a single pulley or as a combination of pulleys. A single pulley can either be single fixed pulley or single movable pulley. A combination of pulley can be a combination of a single fixed and single movable pulley, or it can be a combination of multiple pulleys, which we call block and tackle system. We call it as block and tackle system. So now we will go into detail for each of these types of pulleys. So the figure you see on the board right now is that of a single fixed pulley. Why is it called a single fixed pulley? Because its axis is fixed to a rigid support. Its axis is fixed to a rigid support and the pulley cannot move from there. So pulley is fixed over there, it can only rotate over there. When you pull the rope over here, the load will move in the upward direction. When the effort is not enough, the load will make this end to move in the downward direction. So in a single fixed pulley, we said that the load is supported by tension and the effort is also supported by tension. That means load is equal to 1T and effort is also equal to another T. So this T is supporting the effort and this tension is supporting the load. So when we are calculating mechanical advantage, what was the formula for mechanical advantage? It was load by effort. So here the load is tension and effort is one tension. So we can write it as T by T, that is tension by tension, which is equal to 1. So the mechanical advantage of a single fixed pulley is 1. Mechanical advantage of a single fixed pulley is 1. I hope you remember what we studied in the case of levers. When we studied the topic of levers, we learned that when mechanical advantage of something is equal to 1, it is not a force multiplier and it is not a speed multiplier, but it is used for changing direction. So a single fixed pulley is used for changing the direction of application of force. It is used for changing the direction of application of force. Look, here the load is giving its force in the downward direction. Effort is also being applied in the downward direction. Load is acting in the downward direction, effort is also acting in the downward direction. If there was no pulley, then this load should be supported by pulling it in the upward direction. This load should have been supported by pulling it in the upward direction, which is not easy for us, because it is easy for us to pull something in the downward direction so that we can give our own body weight to it. So when you apply our own body weight, this object can be easily lifted. So it is easier to pull something in the downward direction, and in that case we use a single fixed pulley. So we are not using it as a force multiplier, or we are not using it as a speed multiplier, but we are using a single fixed pulley to change the direction of application of force. So in the case of pulley, we can consider a pulley as a lever also. Here the distance from this end of the pulley to the center and this distance over here can be considered as load arm and effort arm. Load arm and effort arm. As it is a circular disc, both parts are equal to the radius of this circle. So again, if you calculate mechanical advantage based on how we calculate in the levers, that is effort arm by load arm, then also the mechanical advantage will be equal to 1. So now we can check its velocity ratio. Velocity ratio is equal to velocity of effort. So velocity of effort divided by velocity of load is velocity, ratio, or we can write it as distance travelled by effort divided by distance travelled by load. Distance travelled by effort divided by distance travelled by load. So consider if I am pulling this end of the effort, this end of the rope to this distance of d, a small distance of d, the load will also be shifted to the same distance. The tip of the load will move from here to here. So effort, if it moves downwards a distance of d, the load will also move upward in the distance of d. So that means distance travelled by effort divided by distance travelled by load will be same. So velocity ratio is also equal to 1. Velocity ratio of a single fixed pulley is also equal to 1. So there is no gain in speed. So when you get mechanical advantage and velocity ratio, it is logical to calculate its efficiency. So efficiency is represented by the symbol eta. Efficiency is equal to mechanical advantage by velocity ratio. That is equal to, here mechanical advantage is 1 and velocity ratio is also equal to 1. 1 divided by 1, which is equal to 1. When you multiply it by 100 to convert it into percentage, we get it as 100%. So what we see here is efficiency of a single fixed pulley is 100%. Its mechanical advantage is 1, velocity ratio is 1, so its efficiency is 100%. But we also learned that no machine is 100% efficient. Only ideal machines are 100% efficient. So there is something which is related to this pulley which makes it not to attain the 100% efficiency. So what are those things? The two main things which does not allow a pulley to be 100% efficient are the friction. Here the axle is there and the axis of rotation is there and the circular disc has to rotate in that axis. There is a friction between that axis of rotation and the circular disc of the pulley. That friction stops it from freely rotating. Second, when you are pulling this effort side of the rope, you are not only pulling the load but also you are pulling up the mass or weight of this string. You are also pulling up the weight of this much part of the string. If the load is at a long distance down, then lot of rope will be there which you have to pull. So the string or rope should be massless. It should be massless and it should be inelastic for the machine to become 100% efficient. So the two problems which does not allow a pulley to be 100% efficient are friction and mass of the string. Clear? Okay, now we can move to the second topic, and that is single movable pulley. Single movable pulley. So when you draw a pulley, always start with a rigid support, and in the single movable pulley, a pulley is not attached to any support. It is not fixed to any support. But all the features of a pulley will be there. A circular disc is there, an axis of rotation is there, the axle or the frame is there, and it is the string that is attached to the rigid support. It is the string which is attached to the rigid support. And the other part of the string is in the upward direction. And we hang the load on the axle of the pulley. We hang the load on the axle of the pulley. And we know that the load acts in the downward direction. The load acts in the downward direction. The effort is applied in the upward direction. and there is tension which we have to mark, and here the tension of this load is actually supported by two strings. The load, and along with the load the pulley, the whole pulley and the load is supported by two tensions. Tension 1 here and the tension 2 is over here. Two tensions are supporting the load and the pulley. Load and the pulley. And the effort here in the upward direction is supported by one tension, that is only on this side. You are pulling only on this side, and the tension on this side and this side both are supporting the load. So when you calculate mechanical advantage, which is load by effort, the load is supported by two tensions, so we can write 2T, and the effort is supported only by one tension, so we write it as T, and T gets cancelled and we get mechanical advantage as 2. We get the mechanical advantage as 2. When it comes to velocity ratio is equal to distance travelled by effort divided by distance travelled by load. Distance travelled by effort divided by distance travelled by load. Displacement of effort divided by displacement of load. So when the effort moves upward direction, the load also moves along with it half the distance moved by the effort. Load moves only half the distance moved by the effort. If you pull the rope to move the effort up to here, if the effort reaches up to here, if effort is moving a distance of 2d, then this load is lifted along with this pulley only up to a distance of d. So always in a single movable pulley, the effort moves double the distance the load is moved. So distance travelled by effort will be 2d divided by effort. Distance travelled by load will be d, which is equal to 2. So again we get mechanical advantage as 2 and velocity ratio as 2. So when you calculate its efficiency is equal to mechanical advantage divided by velocity ratio, which is equal to 2 by 2, which is equal to 1 into 100 percentage, or it is 100% efficient. This is only in the case of an ideal pulley, but here we know that no machines are ideal, so there are certain things which makes it less than 100% efficient. So the first problem, as we discussed earlier, is friction. The second is the mass of the string, and another issue is the pulley also has a mass which should be supported by the effort. The mass of the pulley, the mass of the movable pulley is also supposed to be supported by the effort, which is a drawback. You are not only moving the load but also the pulley. So a single movable pulley cannot be 100% efficient. Clear to you? Now we can discuss the difference between a single movable pulley and a single fixed pulley. Let me rub the board. Okay, when we compare the characteristics of a single fixed pulley and a single movable pulley, we can see that there are generally 5 parameters in which they differ from each other. They are support, mechanical advantage and velocity ratio, movement, usage and load. They show difference in these 5 parameters: support, mechanical advantage and velocity ratio, movement, usage and load. So let's look at the difference between them in detail. The first one, rigid support. A single fixed pulley is fixed to a rigid support, whereas a single movable pulley, it is not fixed to a rigid support. Mechanical advantage and velocity ratio of a single fixed pulley is equal to 1. But in the case of a single movable pulley, they both are equal to 2. The movement A single fixed pulley does not move up and down along with the load, but a single movable pulley moves up and down along with the load. When it comes to usage, a single fixed pulley is used to change the direction of effort. But in the case of a single movable pulley, it is used as a force multiplier as it doubles the effort we exert. So earlier we saw that the velocity ratio and mechanical advantage of a single movable pulley is 2. So we know that when mechanical advantage is 2 or when mechanical advantage is more than 1, the machine is used as a force multiplier. When the mechanical advantage is less than 1, it is used as a speed multiplier. When the mechanical advantage is more than 1, it is used as a force multiplier. Finally, when it comes to the load, a single fixed pulley is usually used for lifting small loads, but a single movable pulley is used for lifting heavy loads because it can be used as a force multiplier. Okay students, that's the first part of pulleys, and the second part we will be dealing with combination of pulleys. I hope you understood this lesson. You can do the work which is assigned to you below this link and you can send it to me. Thank you all. Have a nice day.